I'm interested in.
Well, we'll go ahead and do is if you guys want to speak, then raise your hand. Even if you don't want to turn on your camera, you can still raise your hand and we can do it in a somewhat orderly fashion. How's that?
And I will not post this to YouTube. I will just, well, I'll have to put it on YouTube, but I'll make it private and just send it to Eric.
All right. Any questions? Any comments? Who wants to go
It
first?
looks like Linda's ready to say something.
It was great. I enjoyed it every bit as much as the other two that I saw this afternoon.
Wonderful. Any parts stick out? Do you think it did my goal, like I said, is to entertain, then to educate, hopefully, and then to advertise. Tell me on those arenas how you think it did, or if it didn't hit you on one of those three, what did it do is kind of what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I think it's really good for educating. I have a niece that's been planning to go to the Creation Museum and the Ark, and she's never made it. I was going to meet her there, and but I'm going to send her the links to those two, and when this one comes out, this as well, because all of my family, except for my immediate family, think that I'm crazy for being a young Earth creationist. Even the Christians, they think it's old Earth, and I think this would be really good for them to see.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we did try to mix the science in there with it. We tried to mix. It's like how do you mix some science without it being a science classroom type teaching? And do you feel like the old Earth, young Earth? Do you feel like it actually hit that in a decent way with the carbon dating or potassium argon dating and the soft tissue and dinosaur bones?
Yeah, I think it's a great introduction. Of course, it doesn't give all the details that adults could learn, but I think it's perfect for kids, and like my niece's son, who's just out of high school, just as an introduction, for something like that to pique their interest.
Linda, aren't you a teacher?
Yes, but I teach
Professor? Aren't you a
homeschoolers.
professor? Oh, okay.
No, I taught high school chemistry and math, and now I teach homeschoolers at my house.
It looks like Steve has something to say. You have something to say, Steve?
And
Yeah, Eric, I want to tell you that was a lot of fun. And
Oh, praise God.
and what I liked about it too was you brought so many aspects of the radiometric dating in, the soft tissue and the dinosaur bones and all those things in sort of a fun way with the researchers who were doing it. And I think you've done it in a way that'd be very engaging to teenagers and even younger adults and that sort of thing. So it's quite good for that. But you also, made the case for radiometric dating, and Mount St. Helens is a perfect example of that. So thank you for that. And I just wanted to tell you, I know that acting may be a career choice for you, but don't get a big head, okay?
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, man. Steve, I when we did the first one, I was like, okay, it was just like there's four of us there for the first one, a sound guy, Tim Chapey, Becki Pike, and me. And I'm like, okay, guys, you can't make fun of me. I'm just going to go all out. I've never done anything like this. This is all new to me. I've never put myself out there like this. So I'm still nervous about it.
You did pretty well.
I think it was
God.
great. And Steve, what are your credentials? Were you a teacher? No, you're a engineer.
I am an engineer. Yeah, I have a master's from University of Washington in Seattle in electrical engineering and a bachelor's from the Ohio State University in electrical engineering, and three other associates of science from my tech schools in the Air Force and stuff, mostly in electronics. But anyway, I did teach at the University of Virginia. I taught thermodynamics, and it would have been nice if you would have added the second law of thermo into it, but that's okay.
Maybe when you
I'm hoping there's more movies to come.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you're going to go visit the Winter Center.
So I would love to do that. I already asked David. I was like, hey, can I make that happen? He said yes. My thought is the next one I'd like to do is the Glendive Dinosaur Museum. Robert up there who runs that. So I said, hey, could I do night at the Dinosaur Museum? I think that you could have a lot of creativity with that and have a lot of fun with that. So we'll see where it ends up going.
Well, I'm going to go ahead now and read some of the comments just so that you have them. recorded. So Jimbo says that he can see an ongoing series coming, and Alan says your acting was excellent, especially he liked it when you did the double, having yourself as double. I would like to point out, I think it's kind of ironic that you kept saying, I don't want my family to laugh at me, but you're such a ham in this film. We're laughing anyway.
Well, hopefully they're laughing with me and not just at me. Hopefully the at me parts are supposed to be the at me parts.
Linda says fantastic. Alan also says super cool and can't wait to go back and watch the other two. Deb Shope says that was so good. Pamela says pretty good. It was kind of stemmed from a PG rating that Robin suggested since the dinosaur was eaten. Yeah.
That one, is that too far, by the way? What do you guys think? Either tell me or put it in the comment, or I guess what you control it, but is it too far to actually see the mouth go all the way over and then hear those sounds? Or is that like, no, that's what kids expect today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it
think
was
that's
good.
what I was taken back by it, and I was a little scared, and actually I thought I was hearing noises behind me. So I think I might just be a little sensitive.
Yeah, and June says she can't wait to show her grandkids. So I think she's thinking it's okay. My only comment was an ew when you touched the floor and licked your feet.
Are you a germaphobe?
Maybe a little bit. Rachel wants to know if there's a bloopers reel available.
You know what? I did keep some bloopers, and Dr. Brian Thomas, hats off to him for doing such an amazing job. When I asked him, I had no idea how this was going to go. And, really what, so we had 4 days to try to make this one happen. We had a little bit more time, but I'm just trying to do my part. I'm not trying to pay attention to him. I get back and start editing, and I'm like, Dr. Bry is amazing. Like, he did such a good job at this. I couldn't believe it. So I was really excited about that. I thought he did absolutely awesome. What was the original question on that one, though? It was
bloopers reel.
so I did, as I was editing, I'm like trying to keep all these little bloopers and things. So on the DVD that's what we did for Night at the Creation Museum and Night at the Ark Encounter. We have a bloopers reel. If you get the DVD, if you get the digital, you just watch it online for free on our website. So this one, I'd like to see a bloopers reel of some kind. We'll see how that goes.
And then James just posted an acronym for skeptic, and I think he's just making a suggestion here, but maybe you can see it too. Soft tissue for S, K is potassium, E, explosion of St. Helens, P is potassium also.
Yep.
T, the mapping of the earth, I, ice, and C, core. So
Nice. Skeptic, soft tissue, potassium, explosion of Mount St. Helens, mapping of the earth, ice core. Nice.
And apparently me reading that makes Zoom think I'm speaking another language. They want to know if I want to change to Arabic.
Mine just asked me that too. That's so weird.
Oh, maybe there's
I've never seen that feature before.
I just want to reach out to Leilani. Leilani's a homeschooler. Do you have any comments, Leilani? Or maybe she dropped off?
I'm here.
Oh.
Sorry, I have a confession.
Uh-oh.
It's that one of my kids had a meltdown and I had to leave, but my son watched it and he thought it was hilarious and loved it. So
there we go. That is what we need to hear.
And I want to see it again. I want to see it. It's just I had to attend to a meltdown. But like I said,
sorry. I didn't mean to call you
had
out.
a rough week. No, it's fine. But like I said, my son loved it and he is 13. So
that's perfect. That's the age I want right there. That kind of right before high school, middle school age range is I don't know how low it can go, but that's ideal right there. That's when they're starting to question things. And statistics tell us that 46% of middle schoolers are questioning whether or not the Bible is true that are in church. Those in church are questioning whether or not it's true. So to try to give the some of the science and some of the information behind it, God's word and God's world, science and scripture, how do we bring those together? So
yeah, and it's a lot to say because he did defy me and come in here without my permission and watch it and wouldn't leave. So, so that's a compliment to you.
That's funny.
Well, you know, I'm
Um,
going to give the links to our or not, our youth pastors that do the junior high and the high school youth and see if they can get it, if they can
Yeah.
watch it. For the
Eric,
first two, not for the third, obviously.
Eric, when will the third one be available to the public?
Great question. You guys are really some of the first people to ever see this because I just sent it to Dr. Galuza like as a, okay, here's my draft. Tell me what you think last week. So I haven't even heard back from ICR yet. So waiting to hear what they think about it. And then from there, we'll decide how is it going to be released? When is it going to be released and all that. So this is all like literally, I just got this done. So this is like just got done.
Nice. And
Terry, I just want to call out to Jessica. She's been awfully quiet.
oh, we have a couple more comments in the
Okay.
comments. So James is asking if there will be a resource. I'm sorry. A
resource for each one of the main
points.
Will there be a resource for each one of the main points?
Specifically tied to the movie, I don't know. I think it's a neat idea. There are so many resources out there on carbon dating, Mount St. Helens, all that. I try not to, as a ministry, reinvent the wheel. It's like, man, AIG and ICR and everybody's got stuff. So just use what everybody already has is what I try to do. But it's an interesting idea to see if there's something that can go along with this to help people. That's a neat idea.
Yeah. And then Deb says it will be a fun intro to young earth science for skeptical adults too, not just kids. Humor goes a long way to make people feel comfortable with new info, and the humor was great.
Praise
and
God.
June wants to know, what do you call the cards on your Creation Today website, because she can't find them? Oh, it looks
So
like
these
you
cards
added.
I did just add a link, but they're just called Night at the Creation Museum and then Tract, TRACT for a gospel tract. So Night at the Creation Museum tracks. And yeah, like I thought I think we pay, it's basically covers our cost. It's like $6 for 100 of them so that you can pass them out and it won't cost much at all.
June, the link is in the chat. So if you can find the chat. And June, maybe it's because your captions are now in Arabic. June said that she has Arabic subtitles. What is with that? I don't understand.
I don't know. And Alan is bragging a little bit about some of us were the first to see the Genesis movie too. I was there. I remember that.
I was there.
That is true. You guys right there in that long room got to preview. Now, did we preview that? We previewed that in 3D, didn't we?
No, I mean, it's not.
It
like
was
we
only
were-
2D.
Yeah.
No,
Did I bring my big screen? I thought I brought my screen and 3D projector. Did I not do that out there?
I'm
Maybe
thinking
I
that you
remember
didn't.
wrong. No, I don't think we did.
Alan, it wasn't in 3D, was it? I don't think
Okay,
so.
maybe it
And
wasn't 3D.
It wasn't finished yet. There were spots
Okay.
where it was like still like the graphics
Oh.
weren't finished.
That's right. Okay, that's right.
So
Not 3D. Oh well. Well, thank you guys for previewing stuff and telling us what you think. And by the way, honestly, if you guys have feedback that you like, I didn't like this, or I thought, don't know that I could change it now, but I'd love to know for future some different thoughts.
Well, I think, I'm sorry. I think Becki did a marvelous job. I knew she was a filmmaker. I didn't know about your first two movies until Terry sent me the links to them. And I don't know how I would have missed that because I'm like big into creation, but now I'm going to be watching your site more. But Becki did a phenomenal job.
She is amazing. She really has an eye for, like, we're sitting there filming, and you got to understand, she is script writing, she is directing, she's wearing multiple hats, and to have it all in her brain, okay, no, I need that. She's making the movie in her mind where she's like, okay, no, hang on. Before we leave, I need a shot right here of this, and I need this, and it's all happening. Like she's watching the movie in her mind as we're sitting there on set making it. So it was pretty
And she's
neat.
so calm and cool, right? She is not easily flappable. So, and I walked over you. Who did I walk over? Were you saying something, Terry?
No, I wasn't saying anything.
Well, I can't believe you used a cell phone. Did you really?
Okay, so this one was not a cell phone. The first two really were cell phone. The Night of the Christian Museum, Night of the Ark Encounter. That's all I had. So
I
yeah,
find that hard to believe. I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
you were kidding.
No, that was really done on a cell phone.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. I had a question and it just like left, came, gone.
Jimbo says, and she has to deal with a prima donna like you. I know, I know. Ah, you know,
I
once you
have
get
a
a taste for
question.
this star stuff, it's pretty nice, you know.
I was gonna say, don't go to the dark side. No, no, you're acting, but you've always been somebody to throw themselves into their work. So you did I think you did a really good job. It was really well done for as,
Praise God.
silly as it was.
All
Oh,
right,
there's
now the real
Dan.
critic comes in. Okay, Dan, let's go ahead and let's get the honesty out on the table, okay?
Oh no, we can't hear you, Dan.
Oh, unmute yourself there.
He's unmuted, but for some
Okay.
reason his
Yeah.
microphone. There we go.
All right. I had some questions.
Okay.
This isn't a criticism, but when you had the T-Rex eat your skeptical self, did that mean that your questions were ended, or you just put that in there for fun?
That's the idea, is that, man, my skepticism is dying. I am a true believer. I get it now. That's for me, as I was writing, and Becky and I was like, I really need, we called him Dark Derek in the script. I need
Yeah.
Dark Derek to be bringing up these questions in my mind. But then, and of course, all of that is happening in some kind of knocked out dream sequence. So I was like, well, we can have anything we want can happen. So let's just do it, you know?
Okay.
And that was exactly the concept, is that is a death of skepticism, and the dinosaur soft tissue and stuff like that is killing my skepticism now.
Okay. I thought if there was some way to make that clearer, because some people could just see that it was like a fun thing to do, but I thought there might have been more meaning behind it. So
Yeah, that's how
So
I
like
saw it.
somehow later, like, well, my skeptic's dead, man. I'm a believer now. Like that would have been like maybe in the lab afterwards or something like that. Yeah, it would have been cool to reference that. That would have been
yeah.
good.
So I don't know. Did you when did you film the Mount St. Helens stuff at Mount St. Helens?
That would have been, so we did this filming in November of let's see, not this last November, the November before. And so Mount St. Helens, Bill Hosch was there. So that would have been around September, October of 2022.
Okay, so that was not the trip that I saw you at Mount St. Helens, right?
No, it was not. That was a separate trip.
Okay.
I was speaking out at Design Science Association, and we were like, hey, let's try to write something for Mount St. Helens. We went out and literally bought a GoPro 360 camera and set it up out there, and just we're like, let's try something. So the VR, I mean, literally to create the look like I'm in a VR, I had to create the whole thing as a 360 video, upload it to YouTube as a 360 video, and then grab my phone, watch the video, and act like this is my head as I'm looking around at these different things, capture that and put that in the movie. That was how I made that VR feel, but tried to figure out how to write that and what we would write before we were ever even, ready to do the movie yet. So tried to make it fit in.
Okay. And then where did you find the stunt double? I don't think he looked like you at all.
I got to tell you, that really cut down on the budget, man. It really cut down on the budget. It's hard to find somebody that's willing to look as ugly as me come on camera, okay?
Is that it, Dan?
That's it.
Okay. We have some more comments. So James, who put up that acronym, he just wants to explain that in his acronym, K stands for potassium. It's the standard initial for it. And then he tried to create an acronym that followed the order of the movie, but he had to use potassium twice. So he said to let him know if you have any questions about it. He thought that the dino devouring was great. And he wants to know, who are your comedic inspirations?
Oh, man. For me, don't judge me too harshly. For me growing up, it was first of all Don Knotts and Andy Griffith's show, and then Shake His Gun on the West, all that, and then it would be probably unfortunately more along the lines of Jim Carrey would, you know, the different movies he did. That's what I grew up on. So
Okay. And someone using the name MSR Business
No,
is
no, that's
asking.
Rob. That's Rob Langsford. I just didn't
Oh,
get
Rob,
a chance to
okay.
change his name.
Rob is asking, what type of cell phone did you film the first two films with?
those were filmed on a Samsung Galaxy S10. I had mine, and then sometimes we needed two phones. Tim Chafee had just bought the brand new Samsung Galaxy S. No, that was the S10 as well. So two Samsung Galaxy S10 phones are what those were filmed on.
Okay. And
Yeah, they
then
have way better cameras than the iPhones. My iPhone camera just stinks.
So the real question is, what did you use for this video?
This one, by God's grace, ICR has an incredible video department headed by Clint Lovelace, and Clint and his crew filmed everything. So I guess I should find out from Clint. I don't remember if it was Sony or Canon, so I'm not going to say because I don't want to start a debate here on which one's better. But Clint and ICR used all their gear, and we were able to film everything and do stuff with their gear. So it was really nice.
nice. And then Jimbo's asking, did you do all your own stunts?
You know what? We do have a clip of us having two air mattresses behind us when we're coming up to that last, right before we get knocked out with the T-Rex chasing us. And oh my goodness, Dr. Bry might have broke his elbow on that fall because we both jump up. I mean, we jump, our feet had to go up in the air and come down and land. And when we landed on the mattresses, like I was debating which way we should put them. And I think we put them the wrong way because it kind of split apart a little bit. I mean, I grabbed some air mattresses and brought them. That's what I did. So I just grabbed an air mattress when I was going over there. I was like, we're going to figure this out. And that he got nice and hurt. And he did all of that with a broken toe. So he's doing all of these things. So hats off to Dr. Brian Thomas. That's the one that I'm blown away. He did all that with. But it was fun. Yeah, that was all us just okay, how are we going to make it look like we're slipping around on the floor? How are we going to make it look like we fall back? How are we going to make it look like, so it was
It's crazy
fun.
because it really looked like that. I mean, it was good for being,
Well-
just a non-professional production. It looked great.
Well,
Did
we
you have-
really did fall. Let me tell you, that really did happen.
Did you have acting tryouts for this for the scientist?
Yes. Nobody made it, so we just used the real scientist.
Well, I'm kind of disappointed that Frank Sherwin didn't have a bigger role, though.
Oh, I tell you, we recorded him saying that like 5 times. He's like, okay, now what am I supposed to say again? I'm like, Frank, I sent this to you 2 weeks ago so you can memorize this one line, buddy. Come on.
What's my motivation?
Yes.
Now, he has spoken for us 3 times, and he's in our group on Facebook. So we've gotten really familiar with his funny sense of humor. And I noticed that Dr. Bry, he interjected at least 1 or 2 puns throughout it. Is that kind of common for the atmosphere at ICR? Are they a
Oh,
punny
yes.
bunch?
I'm telling you, well, not only to have these guys that are really smart, but also they can still have fun and that love Jesus like nothing else. I mean, it really is an amazing place. It really, truly is. And I am blown away by the scientists, blown away by their brilliance and their humility. And I just, they work a lot harder than I do. Let's just say, maybe I don't work. Maybe I just play all the time. But anyway, it's amazing to see what they've learned and what they've accomplished and how they can communicate this truth for the glory of God. I love it.
Okay, now I do remember that question that I had. So some years ago, I saw Babylon Bee posted a funny article about a night at the museum with Ken Ham. So was that an inspiration for you, or was that coincidence?
They did that after I had produced the movie. And I'm
What?
like, guys, come on, Babylon Bee, guys, come on. Like, I've already got this. So
You know who did it first? Mad Magazine.
what?
Mad Magazine did Night in the Creation Museum first.
Oh, that's right. And making fun of it, right?
They did.
That's right.
Oh.
So, oh well.
Okay.
I wasn't.
I didn't
Our-
even know Mad Magazine was still around.
I didn't know
Back
either.
I
back
didn't
then it
either.
was. Back then it was.
Okay,
Spy versus Spy. Sorry.
do you have any plans to do a night at the original Creation Museum?
Well.
In Santee?
How I have not kept up with you guys. I have not kept up since I was out there with Jason Payne last time, doing a creation day. That's after that last creation day. I really haven't kept up with the museum. Is it still there? Are you guys still? Is it still kicking over there?
It
Well,
is still there.
Yeah, Jason moved to Kentucky and he was a curator at the Ark for a while. But the last time you were there, I think 2 years later is when we shut down for COVID, and it hasn't been the same. If
It,
I'm just gonna,
it hasn't been the same, but it is open again. And Alan
Okay.
is teaching classes there. He just posted that if you came, he would love to help out. But he's doing the kids classes once a month again. And also he and some of the folks down there just restarted in-person fellowship that meets on the first, just once a month on the first Tuesday of each month, and it's called Genesis to Revelation. So so they're still buzzing. Robin
that-
might have fled, but not everybody did.
well,
COVID was
no,
hard on everybody. That's for sure.
Oh,
um,
and Alan is saying that the Tuesday night class starts twice a month in May. So
Nice.
yeah.
and I send the email out for that. So if anybody on the call is in California and SoCal, and want to get on the email list, just send me your email address and I can send you it, and then you'll know what's being presented on those Tuesdays. Sorry to take that time, Eric. I just wanted to throw that out there. And let's also I know we're recording, but next week we are starting with Mike Riddle, right?
No, next week is going to be the first of a 2-part series with John
Oh, yeah.
Harris, who we mentioned earlier. He's the president of Living Waters Europe, and he's going to come across the pond. He has to get up, at 2:30 a.m. for us, but he's going to do 2 weeks in a row on Haldane's Dilemma. So that's going to be
I
interesting.
love that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And he's such a good teacher, so it'll be a good one. So you know what, why don't we do this? Robin, why don't you go ahead and end the recording, and then we'll have Eric pray to close us, and then that way people can kind of have an official marker that if they want to leave they can, but if Eric wants to hang back and visit and answer any more questions, he can.